Welcome to the vibrant capital of Portugal. Lisbon is amazing. Hello! Today from Lisbon, this amazing city here. I don't know if you know, but Portuguese is my native language, so I'm really happy to be here. Can speak, can understand everybody. Not exactly, because my Portuguese is the Brazilian Portuguese, but makes a difference. And having now a good weather here, good food, I'm really happy to be here. I spent 1 week in Lisbon walking, seeing and eating a lot, of course, and I want to share everything with you. Here are some of the best attractions you shouldn't miss when visiting the Portuguese capital. Torre de Belém. The iconic Belém Tower is a UNESCO World Heritage Site and a symbol of Portugal's age of discovery. Built in the early 16th century, it offers great views of the river and interesting architecture, plus the scenic riverside location. Cais de Sodré. Quay of Sodré is located by the waterfront, along the Tagus River, just west of Lisbon's downtown. It's a beautiful spot to watch the sunset over the river, with stunning views of the bridge and the Christ the King statue. Quay of Sodré is also an important transport center. The station links the metro, with trains heading to Cascais, for example, ferries across the river, and various buses and trams. Torre Vasco da Gama. Vasco da Gama Tower is one of the most iconic modern landmarks in the city. The tower is 145 meters high, making it one of the tallest structures in Lisbon. It offers stunning views of the city and the Tagus River. The tower is shaped like a sail, a tribute to Lisbon's maritime history. By the way, they serve great drinks. Parque das Nações. This beautiful and modern district along the river, filled with attractions such as the Oceanário de Lisboa, one of the largest aquariums in Europe, a must-visit for families or anyone interested in marine life. It's a nice area also if you want just to make tourism and go to a restaurant, have a drink. Everybody's walking around, cycling, and it's good to be in Lisbon. In Parque das Nações, you also see Vasco da Gama Bridge, the longest bridge in Europe, stretching over 17 kilometers, is a key part of the stunning views. So blue sky, nice weather. What do I want more? I want bacalhau. I'll look for a restaurant now to have a bacalhau. And here I am with my cat. One of the main dishes here in Portugal. If you want to do some shopping, Parque das Nações has a nice shopping center and has also the telecabine, or cable cars, that give scenic views of the area. It's great to walk along the riverside, and there's plenty of restaurants to choose from for good food. By the way, the telecabine. The cable car offers a scenic aerial ride along the Tagus River, providing beautiful views of the waterfront and the surrounding area. The cable car is from the Torre Vasco da Gama to the Oceanário. The journey takes around 12 minutes. It reaches around 30 meters above the ground, offering sweeping views of the river, the Vasco da Gama Bridge, and the futuristic architecture of Parque das Nações. Tickets are less than €10, with the option to buy a one-way or round-trip ticket. There are also family packages available. Casa Pastéis de Belém. This is the most famous pastry shop in Lisbon, renowned for its iconic pastéis de Belém, but it's also a cafe that serves wonderful Portuguese delicacies. By the way, tried one called mimos de coco. You won't regret it. It's common to see both tourists and locals lining up for these delicious treats. The original recipe for pastéis de Belém was created by the monks on the Jerónimos Monastery in the 19th century, and the recipe is still followed today, although the ingredients are kept secret. The recipe was copied and became a national symbol, being called pastel de nata everywhere else. And right next to the Casa Pastéis de Belém, you can see the Mosteiro Jerónimos, another UNESCO World Heritage Site. This monastery is an architectural masterpiece and an important symbol of Portugal's maritime past. The grand cloisters, stunning Gothic and Manuelian architecture, and you can also see the tomb of Vasco da Gama. City Center. This is the heart of Lisbon with grand plazas, lively shopping streets, and many cafes and restaurants. The architecture here reflects Lisbon's reconstruction after the 1755 earthquake. Here you will find very old traditional shops and the famous panoramic lift. And walking through the city center, you will find ginginha. Ginginha is a traditional Portuguese liqueur that is especially popular in Lisbon. It is made by infusing ginger berries in alcohol and sweetening it with sugar. So I was told that when in Lisbon you have to try it. So let's try it. Casa Pastel de Bacalhau. The main ingredient is bacalhau or salted cod, which is a staple in Portuguese cuisine. Here they offer you a glass of port wine to enjoy with the fish cake, and you can take the glass as a souvenir of Lisbon.
So that's the way you have to hold it. This fish cake is called pastel de bacalhau.
Bacalhau is deeply rooted in Portuguese culinary traditions, and pastel de bacalhau is a beloved way to enjoy this iconic ingredient. Padrão dos Descobrimentos. Monument to the Discoveries celebrates Portugal's explorers who set sail during the Age of Discoveries. It is located along the riverfront in Belém, near Torre de Belém. It's beautiful to see the impressive monument and the great views from the top of the structure. During the 15th and 16th centuries, Portugal became a leading maritime power, known for its explorations along the coast of Africa, Asia, and South America. Praça do Comércio is a beautiful and significant landmark in Lisbon, where you can see the Arco da Augusta. The arc was built in the 18th century, featuring sculptures and decorative elements that showcase Lisbon's artistic heritage. The arc symbolizes the city's recovery and resilience after the 1755 earthquake. And near you can also see the Catedral da Sé. It is the Lisbon's oldest church, dating back to the 12th century. Alfama district. Alfama is the oldest district in Lisbon, known for its narrow, winding streets and authentic character. It's a great place to explore on foot. Fado music, cafes, and the historic charm of its streets, as well as viewpoints like Miradouro de Santa Luzia. A ride on Lisbon's vintage yellow tram is a great way to see the city's main sights while traveling through its narrow, hilly streets. The area is close to the other significant sites, such as Castelo de São Jorge, making it easy to explore multiple attractions in one visit. And walking up to the hill to see the Castle of São Jorge, there are few surprises along the way. star night market or Mercado da Ribeira, a gourmet food hall with stalls offering a variety of Portuguese dishes in a lively atmosphere. Here you can buy delicious pastéis de nata and quindim, which is the best sweet in the universe, I promise. In the description of this video I put some hotels and places to stay with a really good location. Lisbon's rich history, culture and lively atmosphere makes it an exciting destination with something for everyone. That's the end of my trip, my last day here in Portugal. I have to come back. And there's a lot more to see, so you can say with absolute conviction that this is a city to visit many times. I hope you enjoyed this guide to Lisbon's tourist attractions, and I would like to invite you to like the video and subscribe to my channel.